Seeing the development, getting inspired by the history, just said, there's a remarkable story here that needs to be told for future generations, and we can't let that die there. So we came in about 2005. We're very fortunate to be able to acquire the old attraction. Spent about a year and a half doing a full restoration on it.
Oh, wow.
And we got it back open. It's still a work in progress, still a lot we want to do with it. We're constantly evolving and improving the castle itself. We were fortunate then, in the midst of the castle restoration, to be able to go out and acquire the Santa's Workshop property where Santa the Elves were making toys back in the 30s. We've acquired that, done a little bit of stabilization work to it, but it's still a work in progress, so a lot of work to do there. Unfortunately, very, very sadly, the toy village that I talked about with Daisy Ear Rifles, Lionel Trains, Buddy L Trucks, unfortunately, those buildings were not standing when we got down here. Had they got torn down, knocked down? I'm not sure. Very sad, and you kind of get upset about that. At the same time, it's like, well, we're here to do what we can. It's not going to be perfect, but we're going to do everything we can to historically preserve this and create something special to the best of our ability. So, out on the property are still the original poured concrete foundations of those buildings. So, what's kind of neat is when the original development happened in 1935, 36, the castle was the first to be built and developed. It was the first in the development. It was the first we restored. The second was Santa's Workshop. That's the second building we got, and it's the second one we're trying to restore.
Oh, wow.
Phase 3 was the toy village, the Daisy, Lionel, Neiman, Doll Furniture, Buddy L Trucks, all that. That was the third thing in the development. That will be the third that we, and I can't really say restore because, like I said, the buildings aren't there, but the foundations are. But kind of the idea would be we could create replicas of the buildings, set them on the original foundations. We'd still be kind of anchored, symbolically and in fact, in history in these foundations, and we'll appropriately, label them or monument them to say, this is the original foundation of the Daisy Ear Rifle, and this replica building is built on this. This is the site of where it all happened. So still that link to the past, even though in that section it wouldn't be exactly perfect. But trying to bring it back, trying to preserve architecturally, the history of it, but more important, just the spirit of it. We're a place where it's just something a little different. You come to a town called Santa Claus, you expect to see something a little different. You expect to kind of have that childlike belief, whether you are the child and you kind of keep that belief alive, or whether it's having a parent or a grandparent kind of experience that through them and still have that magical feeling. And as much as we can, and it's just, with any business, it's tricky to do that, but we try to have that mix where we still do some fun things that everything doesn't have a price tag on it. Now, some things have to, so we can kind of keep the doors open and fund the restoration, which is substantial.
Oh, I can imagine.
But at the same time, we want to keep that spirit. That's what inspired me, and I think that's truly what the spirit of Christmas is. So for that family that comes in and maybe just wants to come check it out, really doesn't necessarily have funds to spend a lot of money on a souvenir or an activity, there's still some neat things that we can do and experience, and they'll still walk away with that joy and that magic and that belief, regardless of whether mom and dad have $1,000 or a dollar. So that's kind of the goal of everything that we're doing here. So the rest of it I'll probably let you go through a little bit more. In the packet it was about a 2-page, but it was a kind of an overview history starting from the naming of the town back in the 1850s, kind of to present day. And it really, relatively succinctly and a lot more eloquently than I will right here, kind of give you an overview of the history and give you a sense of that, to me, the historic significance about what this is all about. So, so from there, I can just kind of show you some of the things that we have here, the way we try to create a little bit of magic in literally a little bit of space. I mean, this was built back Depression era, so we don't necessarily have the huge space that maybe some modern attractions have, but within the space we have, we do try to create a little bit of magic. So I'd like to just quickly, while these guys are finishing up here,